Hello and welcome to 1973 GMC Motorhome episode 16. Look what we're doing today. We are ripping out the refrigerator cabinet because trying to patch it together is not an option. I'm not sure why that's open back there. Maybe they just did that, but I don't know why they would have the wallboard back there. But anyway, we're going to get this out of here and rebuild it better and stronger and faster than it was before. Down here we see where they cut these lines going to the water heater, then installed this heater here. We're gonna put the water heater back together, or potentially cap this and leave an access door or something. So while I was hoping not to have to do this, it's always good when you do. That's getting all nice and painted, and then this is getting all ripped up again. But we've got interesting things. These wires are going nowhere. I'd like to know what that does. That's 12 volts going to this line here. This might make a good dedicated refrigerator line. I can find out where it's going, because it's nice to have one coming directly from the battery. This is some antenna that's going. Here's all this is my start switch wires for the generator that somebody had tapped into. Now, and this is going to the water heater. Also back in there was just this lying in there. I'd like to know where that came from. So anyway, floor's in great shape under there. At least nothing got rotted under there. So, and I'm gonna do the old 3/4 inch plywood. We're gonna use birch out here and over here, and we're gonna reconfigure the cabinets a little bit. I think I'm gonna have something that goes back this way deep. Oh, also, like, look at that. There's a crack there that I probably wouldn't have noticed. I can put some, at least fiberglass the top of that for now, and then I can do the bottom of it next time I have the wheel off. But we don't want, water splashing up in there from the road. So again, it's more work, but it's gonna be done by the end of Sunday. I'm gonna have this done. That is my goal, because I'm off Sunday. I'll have everything here. It's really just, it's not gonna be that bad, and then we'll have a really nice new refrigerator cabinet. I'm at Home Depot getting my cabinet stuff to rebuild my cabinet now. Okay, so we're gonna start making patterns this morning. We're not gonna make the patterns, we're gonna use these as the patterns and start to cut our new pieces. And we're going to use 4x8 sanded pine. The other side of this is beautiful, so this will be the outside, but it's nice and smooth. Those are about 50 bucks a piece. The idea is going to be, obviously, come out this way and have everything screwed together, so as it comes out, we screw it together, and then if we ever need to go back in, we unscrew, as opposed to having everything stapled together, and that'll just be easier to disassemble in an orderly fashion. I need to run some air to these two lines here, see if that leaks or not, because I'm just going to hook up the water heater for now, and if I need to get into that later, guess what? I can unscrew and deal with that. So anyway, I'm going to cut my first piece here and get that on, and then we'll see where we go from there. Alright, so now our water lines are hooked back up. I've got our various electric coming in here. We got 12 volts there. That's probably for the fridge. We've got our mystery 12 volts. That's going to be pulled into the main cabinet. And we've got our 120 20, and that will be below the main cabinet like it was before, with our refrigerator plug going through the bottom. So now let's put that piece on. Okay, so here's the first piece. So it's just screwed into here, so if I ever need to get this off, I'm going to be able to unscrew it. Again, everything's going to unscrew. We're going to have the base going around there. Base is going to be screwed into the floor. Anyway, that's the first piece. I went ahead and screwed that back up on there, and this also can show me sort of where I'm at in terms of the old one. So anyway, okay, so we've taken these cabinets out in the back, so Michelle can get up there and paint and do a better job than just, she's got the first coat on that, but this way she can get up in there and really paint it and get all that. And what I've done is I'm starting to, I got my second piece of cabinet on there, my little mounting frame I'm starting to make, but now I just got called into work, so that's what's going to happen next. I'm going to work. Okay, so I'm going to use this as my template for my outside piece. I'm going to create my inside box, but what I'm going to do, there's the new box in there, just like the old box, only new and way sturdier. So I want to make this come all the way to here and be nice and tight around that. So I'm going to pick this up, cut that out to make my template, and because it wasn't tight before on this side, I'll add the 3/4 of an inch or so that I'm going to need, and that's going to be my straight edge on my board that I'm cutting. I'll just slide it off and trace this side here. Should be perfect. Anyway, we shall see how that works. All right, I'm going to create my arc. This is the edge of the wall, and I've got lines basically every 12 inches. I don't know if we can see that. That didn't come out. There's that one. Anyway, every 12 inches you got a line. So what I do is I go 12 inches up in there and I measure to the outside of the edge of the wall and I get measurements. So Michelle's painting all these with this awesome blue. We're running out of light, so it's time to go in, but that's the bottom of that. It's going to be blue. So we'll have not everything white, and maybe this should be blue. I don't know. That might be nice. Anyway, I'll get back to this tomorrow morning. Okay, so here's the new cabinet that I built. I'm going to put the front on here right now. I'm going to build in the lower cabinet. We decided not to go with the antifreeze driven heater because I'm just going to use a furnace if I'm driving along. It'd be more efficient, and this way there's less chance for leakage. I got this big storage area under here. I think it just makes more sense to use a 12-volt furnace for heat while we're driving. Use a little bit of propane for the back if necessary. Anyway, there's a lot of storage under here. So anyway, so I'm going to build a cabinet door on here and maybe close this in a little bit better. And then our refrigerator, which is quieted down significantly, is now running off 12 volts. And I'm just making sure that this works before we obviously reinstall it, but seems to be quite happy on 12 volts. And I kept thinking I was going to have to buy a new fridge, but this one froze ice in it, and like I said, it's a little bit loud, but it seems to have quieted down. And you know, a new 12-volt fridge is like $1,500 or something. This is 12 volt or 120, and there's a relay inside that automatically switches it. So in a few minutes I'm going to check that. I'm going to get these panels off for Michelle today so she can paint them. She's going with the blue and white in the back, and look how nice that turned out. I mean, from what it was, you know, there's a couple little things, but that's nice. We had a little leak coming in here, so we took that panel back off temporarily. That tape is just for obviously masking around the window, but I'm going to go ahead and reseal the top of that window outside. Anyway, now I'm going to make this piece here that's going to come out and wrap around here and come to about there, so our refrigerator sits in between this, then we'll be out on this side, and that'll be nice. Okay, now I've got this edge on here, and I know that this is plywood and you're going to see that even when it's painted through, but you know what? Whatever. It looks nice. And I guess at some point we could wrap that with something if it really bugged us, but somehow I don't think it's ever going to bug us. I went ahead and put this door on here. There's that. So that's good. But now I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to make that big battery my coach battery, and that small battery is going to be my starting battery, so I can start to do some confirming of electrical stuff, hanging lights inside on our 12-volt system. We're good on hinges. Put a stainless hinge on there. I would like you to get some more of these if you stop at Home Depot, because we're a little short on those, so that would be good. That's got that pan head like that. Okay, so now the back battery is my starting battery, the front battery is the house battery. It's much cleaner and nicer in here, so that's good. Now let's see. Nothing's on, no engine's running. Let's see if we got power. And a bunch of wires that are hanging there. All those should be hot. But let's see. I know this fan should come on. Let's see. Come on, fan. Nice. All right, cool. All right, so now I can start checking these wires and putting our lights up in the ceiling to get those things from hanging down. All right, let's sandwich two of them together because they're probably not going to be super bright by themselves, but anyway, let's do one, two, or both of them. And they dim by holding the button. So that's one side. Now I'll do the other side. I'm just going to put a single one over there. The roof is kind of curved, so I did have to put a little caulk in there because it just looks, there's a big gap. And unfortunately, where that hole is, had that not been there, I could have put it in the flat section, but anyway, it is what it is. Also, I'm crimping flat blade ends on here so I can just plug into here and then tape it so I'm not cutting anything. Okay, there's two less wires hanging down. Like these things, these were Amazon lights. They must have been $20 for 6 of them, I guess. I don't know, maybe I got 12 of them. I don't know. I'm gonna put one down there now so when you walk in the door you can hit it. Okay, we've got our entrance door light hooked up. That's controlled by this switch here. It also controls that one over there, you'll see. That's the old floor lighting system. So that's cool. Lights up there. Working our way back. I'm going to put this refrigerator back in next. Okay, now we're sidetracked again. We caulked the outside of these windows. We're trying to chase down a couple leaks. This thing is loose. So what I had to do is I've screwed that little piece in there to catch this, but on the other side this here is hitting the piece. Wait, where's my finger? This here is hitting the piece I just screwed in. So I need to Dremel out that section there with my little Dremel cutoff wheel. So this can shove up all the way in there. We can caulk it, and then we'll screw it from the bottom into the little piece of angle that I put in there. Okay. Now I've made the little cabinet in there. There's our plug for our refrigerator. So that's below that. Paint that. Yep. Okay, so that's done. So the last thing I'm going to do in this cabinet is add a nice tight gap all the way around here, and then when I got to there, it got a little sloppy. So we went ahead and filled that in. I'm just going to put a coat of primer on it, and that's going to be that. Okay, so this episode we got our battery squared away up in here. Let's review. We have our coach battery and our starting battery in the back. So that's all done. And everything charges when the engine's running at the same time. So that's good. So that's working, and that's less of a mess. I made this bracket on here instead of the strap that was on there, so that's good. So that's properly installed. And what we didn't talk about was, because it's super leaky everywhere, I recaulked these windows. I went all around them. I just hit them with black. You know, so we got to get all these leaks out. I didn't do that yet. I think I have a vent for that. Anyway, so we caulked more windows. We still have a few little leaks before we put the flooring in. This piece of the door, it was coming down. It was actually broken. So I put a bunch of couple self-tapping screws up in there to hold that back in there, and caulk the crap out of that on top to keep anything leaking from there. Then, I guess this episode we built this whole thing. That's got a coat of paint on it now. I went ahead and put some fiberglass just to make it nice and tight. So that's good. And then this is done, basically. It just needs some more paint. The fridge is going in there. I built this little cabinet down there, and of course somebody will have to get in there with the brush and brush that. That's just kind of a first coat in there. Figured I'd do that. Michelle's been working back here. She's got all these doors done here. She's been painting back in here. We caulked around this window. There was a little teeny leak back in there that I was really like, screw it, because it just dripped down through there. But you know what? We don't want it going out on an inverter. So that window's sealed. So it's going to rain like crazy over the next, and it's Tuesday. I guess Wednesday and Thursday it'll rain. Anyway, this is the back here. So that's kind of nice. And then she might be done painting back here. I don't know. But I like the blue to the white. That's going to look nice. So we did that. And then we got to the bottom of our, when you come in, there's that. This was all hooked up to these little floor lights. There's one over there. So we got our entry light on. That's set up. We got our overhead lights. She does not like these because she says that they look like boobs. Yeah, it's electric boobs. All right. Anyway, she's gonna find a different fixture for that. Although that works quite well. We have it on that side, so now we got. We tested our refrigerator on 12 volts. We know that works. She's got this painted. I need to take this countertop off after I put the refrigerator back in there. Countertop comes off, and I go get a countertop made. And while that's happening, I can be putting the floor in here. It's a big mess. We still need to carpet up front, and before I do that, the last thing I'm going to do mechanically is I'm going to put the intake or the exhaust manifold gaskets on that and there. And then just to show you what's going on in here, Michelle's painting hinges and curtain hangers. These are all the doors for the cabinets. So that's it. I appreciate those of you that are watching, and I hope you're enjoying this, and we'll see you next time.